What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So if you've been watching, you'll know that I pulled the bed off of my D100 shop truck project in order to clean up the underside, give it some undercoating. Then I also cleaned up the frame by welding up all the little extra holes and then painted the back half of the frame. But now that I've got everything pretty much all back together and the bed is just about ready to go back on, there's one more thing I want to take care of before putting the bed back on the truck. And that is to work on that access hole right there that I made to get to the gas tank. So I figured that I wanted to enlarge the hole a little bit. So before I put gas in the tank, back the truck in to put the bed back on, and then start cutting, which sparks, gas, not a good mix. I went ahead and enlarged the hole now. So before I had it part of the raised part of the bed, the cut was actually up here. So I cut it off so that it was flush with the bottom. And originally I had used the part that I cut out as a patch panel or as an access panel to get to the gas tank. But I think I want to make a new one because I'm not real happy with the way this turned out. I want to try something. I want to play around with my bead roller a little bit. So I want to play around. So I've got some 18 gauge sheet metal that I'm going to use to make a new panel. I've got some chipboard here I'm going to use to make a template, which if you don't use chipboard, you can buy like RAM board at like your big box stores. It makes great template material. I get my chipboard at an art supply and you can get it in different thicknesses, which is nice. So if you want to make like a curved panel, you can make your template out of some really thin chipboard and it'll make that curve real nice. Just a really cheap option for making patch panels. We're making templates to make panels. Just something to keep in mind. So, like I said, I enlarged the hole, both side to side, just to get to the flat part of the bed. Now I'm going to cut out some of my chipboard. I'm going to start working on a panel to cover this. I don't want to just have a flat piece of sheet metal because that won't have any strength to it. So let me get a piece of chipboard out and I'll work on an idea for a panel. All right, so there's the beginnings of my panel. I bead rolled this section up so it would sit up above the ribs. I may try to figure out a way to fill in the low spots there. We'll see. When it came to drilling these two holes for the clecos, there's a cross member that one's right here, and actually this one is right up against the vertical side of that cross member. So I may have to rethink those holes. May have to move them in a little bit more, move them down away from that cross member so I can get riv nuts or something in there, but we'll see. Now I want to work on a pattern for the center, for the field of the panel. The bed here is bent. It's actually dented in. That's why it's not sitting flat. But once you add some panel screws or something like that to hold this down, it'll be fine. But yeah, so I want to figure out a pattern. Something to bead roll into the center. I don't want just a flat panel. I'm thinking I might just do raised ribs, just a regular fat bead right down through here, in the center of each one of the ribs on the original bed. And that should give me some more stability in this panel so it's just not so bendy. But yeah, I'm going to do that on here. This way when I mess up and want to change something, I can do it here before I do anything to the metal. All right guys, so I got the panel bolted in. It's been a few days now. Just been kind of taking care of little odds and ends things, getting everything ready to get the truck back into the garage so I can get the bed back on it. And my plan is to use my Vevor hoist there to pick up the bed, get it up just high enough that I can then back the truck in right underneath the bed, and then I can go side to side to kind of dial in the position of it and get it bolted back to the frame. So let's see how this thing goes.
Damn, if that ain't the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life.
My toe. I can't do it with my toe. There you go, guys. 4 bolts and the bed is bolted back down. That Vevor hoist, and if you haven't checked out that video, I'll link to that up here. I installed that a couple of weeks ago. That thing made this job so much easier. Should have done that a long time ago. Like I said, so easy, except for the truck rolling forward because I didn't back in far enough, and then I had to shove my foot under the back tire, and yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, all I got to do now is remount my exhaust. I made some changes to that, so I got to recut that hole on the side panels for the exhaust, remount my tail lights, and this thing will be ready to put back into service. Appreciate you guys for watching. Hit that subscribe, hit the bell. I'll see you on the next one.